Assalamualaikum and very good morning, girls. Okay, today we continue our chapter 7. Yeah, the title of the chapter 7 is Cellular Respirations. So we already discussed the 7.2 fermentation, and then today we are going to continue our discussion on the last learning standard of the 7.3. Okay, so what is the learning standard for today? We compare and contrast aerobic respiration and fermentation. Okay, so let's discuss it now. Okay, comparison between aerobic respiration and fermentation. Okay, so we already discussed about the aerobic respiration. Okay, what is the aerobic respiration? Yeah, okay, aerobic respiration is a breakdown of the glucose with the presence of oxygen. Okay, whereby the fermentation is referred to the incomplete breakdown of the glucose with a limited supply of oxygen or without oxygen. Okay, so that is referred to the aerobic respiration and fermentation. Okay, so let's go to the similarities between aerobic respiration and fermentation. Okay, first similarities. Yeah, the breakdown process of glucose. Okay, so aerobic and fermentation is referred to the breakdown process, yeah, of glucose and its conversion to chemical energy. Yeah, a conversion into chemical energy. Okay, that is the first similarity. Second one, the process begins in the cytoplasm. Okay, do you still remember the process, the breakdown process of the glucose? Yeah, is starting by glycolysis. So the glycolysis occur in the cytoplasm. And then yeah, aerobic respiration and fermentation occurs in yeast, bacteria, animals, and plants. Yeah, so both process occurs in yeast, bacteria, animals, and plants. Okay, number 4. Both process produce chemical energy in the form of ATP. Yeah, in the form of the ATP. So at the end of the process, energy is produced. Yeah, in the form of ATP. Okay, last one. Both process begins with the glycolysis when glucose is converted to pyruvate. Yeah, so both process begins with the glycolysis. Yeah. Okay, what is the glycolysis? It is a chemical reaction that convert the glucose into pyruvate. Alright. Okay, so these are the similarities of the aerobic respiration and fermentation. Okay, let's go to the difference between aerobic respiration and fermentation. Alright, so these are referred to the example of the table, yeah, that you should do in the essay question. Yeah, if there is an essay question that asking about the differences between aerobic respiration and fermentation, so please do in 2 columns. Yeah, do in the 2 columns. Okay, 1 column for the aerobic respiration, another column for fermentation, and then make sure you can differentiate based on the same aspect. Yeah, same aspect. Right? Okay. So please do not uh, mix with the another aspect in the one row. Yeah, so in the one row here must be compared with the same aspect. Okay, look at the example here. Here, first difference. The breakdown process of glucose is completed in the presence of oxygen. Okay, whereby the breakdown process of glucose is incomplete. Yeah, incomplete without oxygen. Okay, this one presence of oxygen and this one without oxygen or in a limited oxygen condition. So must be same aspect. Yeah, what is the aspect? The breakdown in the presence of oxygen. Another one, the breakdown process without oxygen. Okay, same aspect. Second one, yeah. Okay, aerobic respiration occurs in cytoplasm and mitochondrion, whereby the fermentation occurs in cytoplasm only. Yeah, in cytoplasm only. Okay, why? Yeah, because in fermentation only glycolysis occur, and the glycolysis occur in the cytoplasm. Yeah, okay, and then no more process occur after the glycolysis because the pyruvate is converted into the pyruvate is undergo fermentation. Okay, so that is referred to the fermentation. Okay, the third one, yeah. Third difference, aerobic respiration produce water, whereby the fermentation does not produce water. Okay, then number 4, aerobic respiration, the glucose is oxidized completely. Okay, glucose is oxidized completely, or glucose is break down uh, completely, yeah, into carbon dioxide and water, whereby in the fermentation glucose is not oxidized completely into ethanol and carbon dioxide or lactic acid. Yeah, glucose is not oxidized completely, or glucose is not completely broken down, yeah, into ethanol and carbon dioxide or lactic acid. Okay, last one. In aerobic respiration, one molecule of glucose generates, yeah, or produce 2,898 kilojoule of energy. Yeah, kilojoule of the energy. So you must memorize this value. 2,898 kilojoule equal to the 38 molecule of ATP. Yeah, okay, equal to the 38 of ATP molecule. And then whereby in the fermentation, one molecule of the glucose generate 210 kilojoule in the alcohol fermentation, or 150 kilojoule in the lactic acid fermentation. So what do you mean by that? One molecule of glucose only produce 110 kilojoule in alcohol fermentation, and one molecule of glucose also generates 150 kilojoule in the lactic acid fermentation. Okay, so I hope you can understand, yeah? The comparison between the aerobic respiration and fermentation. So when the question asking about the comparison, perbandingan. So you have to give the similarities and also differences. Okay, if the question asking about the differences, okay, do not give any similarity. You just give the differences. Alright, okay. So we already end our chapter 7, right? Okay, congratulations, girls. Okay, so let's go to the summary. What we had laid in the chapter 7, yeah? Chapter 7 is cellular respiration. Okay, so what do you mean by the cellular respiration? Okay, so cellular respiration is the oxidation process of organic molecules, especially glucose, yeah, to release energy. Okay, that is the cellular respiration. It is the oxidation of the glucose to release the energy. And then the cellular respiration will produce the energy, yeah. So the main substrate, yeah, the main substrate in energy production is glucose. So glucose is very important for us, yeah, for the animals, yeah, for the cell, yeah, to generate energy, yeah. Okay, then we go to the cellular respiration can be divided into two types: aerobic respiration, anaerobic respiration, and the fermentation is the alternative pathway, yeah, alternative pathway of the cellular respiration to obtain the energy. Yeah, okay. So fermentation only occur if the aerobic respiration cannot be carried out. Yeah, especially when our cell in the condition or in the limited supply of the oxygen. So, as an alternative to get the energy, our cells will carry out, and our muscle cell will carry out lactic acid fermentation, yeah, to get the energy. Yeah, that was occur in the vigorous activity. Okay, aerobic respiration. So, what is the aerobic respiration? It is the breakdown of the glucose in the presence of oxygen to produce chemical energy. Yeah, the breakdown of the glucose in the presence of the oxygen. That is a keyword. Yeah, keyword of the aerobic respiration. Breakdown of the glucose, presence of oxygen. So the aerobic respiration occurs that all involve two series of the biochemical reaction. Okay, what are they? First is glycolysis. Okay, what do you mean by the glycolysis? It is a process whereby the glucose is converted into pyruvate. Yeah? So the glycolysis occurs in the cytoplasm. And then the pyruvate will enter into the mitochondrion and the second process will be continued. Okay, so the second process is called as pyruvate oxidation. Yeah, pyruvate oxidation, and it will produce carbon dioxide plus water plus energy. So in the aerobic respiration, you have to remember the equation for the aerobic respiration. Yeah, please remember that. Yeah, glucose plus oxygen will produce carbon dioxide plus water plus energy. Okay, the amount of the energy that produced in the aerobic respiration is 2,898 kilojoule of energy. Okay, whereby in the fermentation, yeah, fermentation can be divided into two types, alcohol fermentation and also lactic acid fermentation. Okay, what is the fermentation? It is an incomplete breakdown of the glucose in the limited oxygen or no oxygen. That was the key, the keyword of the fermentation, incomplete breakdown of the glucose and also with the limited oxygen or without oxygen. Okay, so please go through again what is the alcohol fermentation and also what is a lactic acid fermentation and also its example. All right. Okay, I think that's all from for now. Yeah, we will see again on the next video with a new chapter. Okay, I hope you can study more and more about this chapter until you do really understand. Alright. Okay, so anything, any problem, you can just ask me. Yeah. Alright. Okay. So that's all for now. Thank you very much.